What's up, y'all? It's Flying Squirrel. So Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier are about to fight this weekend in New Orleans. They're about to fight in New Orleans, baby. I just wanted to, this isn't a in-depth analysis video. I'm not going to be analyzing the jab and the doggone footwork and establishing the jab. I'm not going to be analyzing that. But I just wanted to look at a few things that have me feeling kind of concerned for Max Holloway for this fight. Obviously, this is Dustin Poirier's retirement fight. Dustin Poirier is going to be super fired up. He's going to be fighting in his hometown, or home state at least, of Louisiana. He wants to go out with a bang. As you can see, they're both coming off losses. Max coming off a brutal loss. Dustin coming off, a loss that you can kind of respect. He got choked out in the last round by Islam Makhachev. But I want to just look at some interviews. This guy, Shaq MMA, he does a really good job. Shout out Shaq MMA. Please don't copyright my video. I'm just gonna react to your video. I just wanna look at some stuff that I saw in these interviews and show y'all like why I'm concerned about Max Holloway. So let's start right here.
Are there any sort of unique feelings knowing you're going in there trying to beat a guy who's gonna retire in front of his hometown fans and his family?
I mean, not really.
What is that, bro? Max, what is that? Did you see how he looked around? Not really. What kind of reaction is that? Hey, Max, are you afraid of the dark?
I mean, not really. Like I
would
do.
you believe him if you? Hey, Max, do you believe in the boogeyman?
I mean, not really. Like I do a pretty good job at putting all that noise to the side.
Would you believe a word he said? Look at that body language. I'm really concerned, man. I'm really concerned for Max Holloway. It looks like he has zero fire for this fight. Look at it. He looks like he just woke up. He might have just woken up. Hawaii is who knows how many hours behind Hawaii. Hopefully he's not in Hawaii right now. Hopefully he's already in Louisiana. Hopefully he already down there in the swamp down there. Hopefully he already back down there in the swamp, got a pot full of gumbo. Hopefully he already down there. Yeah, man, it's just a little concerning. Let's look at another part. Just the way he talks about having to fight Poirier.
It's amazing to be a part of this, but it just sucks that I have to play spoiler. But you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. It doesn't sound like he's into this. It sounds like, oh yeah, it's an honor. I've been training for this. Yeah, whatever. But why would he not be into this? If you really think about it, he's already lost to Dustin Poirier twice. He just had one of the most brutal knockouts of his career. So, of course, he's not going to be very fired up. But I would think that he'd be able to find a little bit of motivation for this, a little bit of fire, a little bit of like, to even just a mantra to say to himself, like, I'm coming back. I'm going to get him back. Or the Max that you once knew, he's coming back. That was a fluke last fight. But he's not. There's no like redemption energy. It's just like, they signed me up to work at the grocery store. So I'm working this weekend. And that's literally the same energy. Yeah, I'm working this weekend at the grocery store. I'm going to be doing produce. But, it is what it is, man. I hate that I got to do that on the day that my buddy Johnny has his bachelor party, but it's okay. It is what it is. We're going to find out Saturday night whether the papayas are ripe or not. That is literally how he's doing this interview. I'm going to look at one more spot in this interview when he talks about Topuria.
The all-time pound-for-pound greatest when it's all said and done.
I mean, for sure. You can't sleep on it. But it's just tough, right? Yeah, he has the names, right? He beat the names, and you can't deny that. But then, when you look, it just sucks that, with everything that's going on, when you look at
It just sucks, man. I know. So right here, I kind of feel bad for Max Holloway because you can tell he's still not really over that loss. He looks at the ground. He's, it sucks. It's really tough. It's really tough. It sucks, man.
That when you look at that Volk fight, with that Volk coming off of what he did.
Coming off of what he did. So now he's making an excuse for Volk. Oh, no. Because Volk was coming off a head kick. So it invalidates what Ilya did to Volk. Oh, man.
But people just look at the name. They're not looking at the record. They're just looking at, Alex was the champ, and then me, and then Charles did what he did. But Charles was on him, what was Charles on? A 1 fight win streak, So
Charles was on a 1-fight win streak.
Oh,
so, we just look at the name. Volk was off a head kick. Max was, we're not going to talk about that. Charles was on a 1-fight win streak. I mean, I would expect this from someone else, but Charles, it doesn't negate how amazing it was because Charles has never been knocked out. You have never been knocked out. These weren't just freak accidents. This guy has done it 3 times in a row. It just kind of stinks to see him coping like this. And this makes me ask a question. Whenever I see a fighter coping like this before a fight, has a fighter ever coped before a fight and then won the next fight? I don't know. All you guys in the comment, have you ever experienced a fighter cope and then win? No. It never happens like that. You never see a fighter cope and then win. Maybe he wasn't in the mood, maybe he was tired. But this is not competitive. This does not sound like a dangerous guy. This does not sound like a guy that Dustin Poirier needs to be worried about. He sounds sluggish. He sounds lazy, stupid, sluggish, and unconcerned. If you're a Frank Ocean fan, you know that. But dude, coping about his loss, coping about Volk's loss, coping about Charles Oliveira's loss. This isn't like Max Holloway, man. Max Holloway is a point to the center type of guy, but I guess that Ilya fight really broke him a little more. He might not be over it. I hope he can get that fire back for this next fight, because he is 0-2 against Dustin Poirier. Now let's look at Dustin Poirier, and the difference in the Dustin Poirier interview and this interview should tell you everything you need to know about this fight. I don't even need to do an analysis on the odds or the striking battle and the head movement. I don't even need to do that.
Oh my God.
Look at this guy.
Oh my God.
Look at who do you guys think is more fired up for this fight? Just looking at his face. I'm literally just going to play a 10-second clip from this. And I want you guys to tell me who you think is mentally more prepared and probably even physically more prepared for this fight.
I would like to pose the question to you. Should Max point? Will you be there?
Dude, of course.
Oh my God.
I mean, you're talking to a guy.
Yeah. Oh, look at it. Like, nervous laughter right here. Oh, dude, of course.
Point. Will you be there?
Dude, of course. I mean, you're talking to a guy who I pointed at the ground against Max in our last fight. Like, what kind of question is that?
What kind of question is that? Look, this guy, he's laughing, and then look at his face. Look how his face changes.
All right, Dustin, stupid question, but I'm glad you got that.
Nervous laughter. Oh, shoot. He's not laughing. I'll tell you that right now. He's not laughing. Dustin is acting like this is the last fight of his life in his hometown. He looks big. He looks like a motorcycle gang member. He looks scary. He's over here. Of course I'm going to stand in the middle and throw. Of course I am. What kind of question is that? I pointed first. Max Holloway sitting here like he's, they called me in to work. They said that they had a Black Friday rush and they had to call me in to work a little overtime. So, it is what it is. Sometimes my manager just wants me to come in sometimes, and that's what I'm going to do. But it is what it is. We're going to find out Saturday night how many clothes are on the floor, how many clothes need to get folded. And I'm just going to do my job at the end of the day. That attitude is not beating. Look at this guy, dude. He probably has like possum skins drying out in his backyard right now. I don't know. I know that's a Louisiana stereotype. Is it a stereotype or is it a reality? Louisiana people, it's chances aren't 0. Anyways, this is just my thoughts on this fight. I just wanted to give this reaction. Okay, so also I wanted to remind you guys that the GlobalGiving Brite Initiative fundraising thing in Haiti, they have a 1-day, 24-hour campaign. Well, you can give outside of the 1 day, but for the 24-hour campaign on July 16th, which is this Wednesday, they will be matching everything above $100. So I am going to be giving everything that I make in the month of July to this initiative, starting with $200 tomorrow. So they'll match it, and then it'll be $400. You can do whatever you want. I just wanted to use my platform to raise awareness of this. This is a great organization that I've worked with for over 6 years now, Brite Initiative. And they build schools in Haiti. They provide kids with education, a safe place to go and learn and eat. And I'll put the link in the description. Thanks for watching once again, and I will see you guys later. Peace.